Savage was moving out of the apartment. Everything was empty in the apartment. So we took a keyboard and put on the floor. And I was like, man, I know what would be a hit record. So, we took $20, I think Paul or somebody sent somebody to the record store and got the Parliament Motor Booty Affair record. And we sampled one of those funky things. We really didn't sample it. Replayed the bass line and sampled all the rest of the elements that came into it. And I juggled with the words for a while and eventually came up with it. But that's the essence of it for starters.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love it. Here we go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started.
Way
bro.
back right there.
I'm a big fan, man. I'm a big fan, bro. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and now you here with Baby Savage.
Yes, indeed.
Y'all have a tour going on.
Yes, indeed.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, a lot of history, man. Right now, we're doing a 200-city tour, and this ain't our first rodeo. We've been touring for over the last 10, if not 20 years. Me and Sav in and out all around the country, a whole lot of places. But right now, we're doing a 200-city tour, 100 around the country, and 100 in Louisiana alone. So, yeah, we doing it moving, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, that's hard. Baby Savage, every time he come up, he's got a couple of 100 shows. I'm talking about
it's the guard of grind, bro. Going to turn, he live by the name, man. So this one of the most hustling brothers I know, if I can say it like that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Three wise and otherwise, baby. Yeah.
Man, that's freaking dope. I love it. Sir. I love it. And then you here with your brother Leetyme.
Definitely. My big brother from another mother, man. Together, same neighborhood, same city. Yeah. You know what I mean? That thing, he being one of the cornerstones for CeeLo Records and then eventually the concentration camp and initially into the Corleone family, man.
Yeah. Definitely. That's hard.
Yes, sir.
Man. I like that.
Long time. Mm-hmm.
So, y'all grew up in Baton Rouge together?
Yes, South Baton Rouge to be exact. Bottom Boys.
Yeah. What street?
I'm from Garfield Street Town. Track. More projects, you know what I mean? Yeah, project baby. Yeah. I'm a shotgun house baby. Yeah. Down the street from the projects. Yeah, we grew like that. Same place. Yeah.
But I'm just gotta say this, man. There's a lot of diamonds in the project. Yeah. There's a lot of talent in the project. Yes. Thus we got Young Leetyme.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Man, I mean, it's full of talent, man.
How did Concentrate come about? How did Concentrate Camp come about?
Well, like I say, him being a cornerstone, Loc was the other cornerstone. We all grew together, CeeLo from the same neighborhood. And we had a boyhood dream since talent shows and doing it in our own way. Them two was more like next door neighbor shit. They grew closer than I grew with them. Then eventually I grew into them. They grew into me. I was the third member of CeeLo Records. And from there, eventually Laylo came along that consisted of Max Manelli, Jay Vaughn, and Happy Perez, you know what I mean, the Mexican producer. And Buddha Boss Player, Ground Nitty, my brother Lucky Knuckles, we started to grow into this big, Mark family. I brought to Loc and I brought to Leetyme. I said, man, we need a clicolation name that solidifies all of us. Before then, it was CeeLo Record, a ride, whatever. Then after we birthed into a clique, we decided to do a compilation that was self-titled called The Concentration Camp. For me being a June baby, born on D-Day, June 6th, I come up studying a lot of the Diary of Anne Frank, the Holocaust, and stuff like that. So I presented that idea to them. They was with it, thumbs up. Yeah.
So I saw, did you guys go to Robert E. Lee together?
I went to Robert E. Lee.
Yeah.
And graduated in '90. At that time, it's something else now.
Yeah.
And so we would already into music or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we would a single called The Southside Thing. That was our first single on the Evolution tour of the concentration camp, which he was doing similar things. He had, we're gonna do this at a young age. They give you a head start in a direction that you're trying to get into, And we need it, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Here in Louisiana, it will put you on the right path real quick.
Oh man, Daddy, you going to jail and you going to the graveyard. It's a two-way street. This rap shit saying all our lives. He been a Baton Rouge baby too before he going to Shreveport as well. Yeah. We met in Baton Rouge initially, you know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of heritage, man, you know what I mean? It's under pressure, after pressure come diamonds, we got the documentary just came out recently. I think they're finna put out part 3. Shouts out to Matthew and SCC from Baton Rouge on this called Diamonds in the Dirt. So that solidify us as a whole, man, coming from where we come from. Yeah, man.
I love it, man. I think it's dope. I think what you guys have done, what you guys are doing is amazing.
Yes, sir.
I saw you say 50 years in hip hop.
Yeah. I'll be 51 years old coming this June, couple of months. So, right when hip hop was being born, I was being born with it. Big bro before me. You see what I'm saying? And Savage later on, being Big Little Bro. Yeah.
So you've seen a lot.
Yeah, man. From the beginning, man. My uncle used to rap me Blowfly all the time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That type of thing, you know. And this, like I tell everybody, I was born this way. My mother read me Dr. Seuss when I was still inside. My uncle played drums, rock chemical on the turn, rappers, R.A.P.'s rhythm and poetry. So, you know, when I look back at it, I was born this way. You know what I mean? In that sense. You know, about 8 months to a year, I could read Dr. Seuss. I could play drums at about 4 or 5 years old. So it was, the rudiments was already there. But when I caught my glitch, it'd be like 1983, 9 years old in the 4th grade. You see what I'm saying? Run DMC first tape, and I was like, that's it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. So
you know what? I think that might be lost now, because when I listen to Bleed, not only Bleed, but a lot of other older artists, they talk about how, like how he was talking about how he heard the drums from this, Earth, Wind, and Fire from that, and he pulled different real music to create his sound. These new artists, you don't never hear them talk about really like some of the sounds that they heard that helped create the ideas that's heard into the hit single.
Right.
So I'm like, that might be being lost, because you know the new stuff is done with a beat machine. It's a little different between having real guitars and real strings and real music.
To add to what you're saying exactly, to me, it's like old cars and new cars.
Right.
Where the body is nice on the old school and that motor. A lot of new music is missing that motor. It's like your heart and your body, it looks beautiful on the outside, but without this tickle, ain't nothing cracking. So for kids that couldn't go to classical schools, or we didn't have certain instruments in school, I know I was in like concert band in middle school, but we didn't have no guitars. You had violins and clarinets. We was the drum section. You see what I'm saying? I always was a drummer. But it's missing the core. When you say hardcore hip hop, it's missing the core element. So you got these new beautiful aluminum cars, but when they wreck, it fold up like aluminum foil. You know what I'm talking
about? It's real. They made out of real material.
Steel,
That's real.
U.S. steel, baby. Absolutely.
American muscle.
American muscle, what you see. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. I think I saw you say at one time on an interview you was riding your father's, was that drop top?
65 convertible Cadillac drop top, man. All white guts. Yeah, blowed out top. Yeah, gangster white walls. Original. He kept everything original. He put a CD player, tape deck, but everything else was original. The hub caps and all that type of shit. So I always wanted a 6'4", you know, coming up listening to Easy E. And I had to move back home at a time in life. I never felt the grade, but I was a young father, so I dropped out of school twice. I'm a triple pounder. Woodlawn Pounders to the back to McKinley is our origin. Then, you know, Black Panthers on Chairman Fred, my cousin up in Chicago, you know, true Black Panther. But in that sense of the word, my pops told me when I moved back home, you know, I had a curfew when I had 2 babies at 21 years old. That's how my pop was. He military raised, Night War, New Orleans, my step-papa. So what he told me is, man, 2 things you're going to have to do here. You're going to have to go back to school, get a GED or something, and keep a job. My job, you know, my curfew was 9 o'clock. My job, he'll let me work that to 10 after 10. But one day when I was finalizing my GED, I never forget, it was a Wednesday morning, and he come in the room early in the morning. We used to go jog, do different shit. I had to sleep with one eye open. When he worked at a chemical plant. So before he leave, he'll crack my door open. I see him like this. Yeah, my eyes open. I see you. Right. I mean, but one Wednesday morning, he comes to me and he walked to my window and opened the window. And he say, "You like that card on here? Let me take it to prom." You know what I mean? That type of shit. Say, yeah. He said, "You could have it. Just put double into what I put in." He might have went to Florida and paid like $3 grand for it. So I put about 6,500 to 10 grand in that car. and was revitalizing before, you know, I kind of lost it in 97. The guy that was replenishing it, you know, something happened with him. He lost his property and everything. My car was there. But that car, I used to call Casper, you know, because it was all white. Yeah. That was my Ghost Rider. So what you speaking of is similar to the DOC. I'm exhausted. I worked construction in the daytime, Pizza Hut at night, and went to the studio with them after that. Sleep in my car and start all over 6, 7 in the morning. You see what I'm saying? So one night, I'm running like that, trying to finish this record. They on me, President, man, you're going to be all right. Just finish these records. We complain about this, that, and the other. Just finish the record, dog. So it was a struggle to finish that record. That's why you hear Max Manelli on it so much, because he really finished the record. You see what I'm saying? On a majority of those records. But I'm saying it to say this. I'm driving one night coming from the construction site. I could only go take like a 20, 30-minute nap, and I had to be the Pizza Hut. If I got off at 4:30 construction, I had to be the Pizza Hut for 5 o'clock. But the guys that I grew with and the manager was a manager that was cool with my mom and pop from the original neighborhoods out of South Baton Rouge. So fresh out of high school, he'll give us all jobs. So my street big brothers was managers. So they'll let me come in a couple hours late, that kind of time, type of thing, on that type of time. But I'm coming to Pizza Hut one night and get about 5 minutes from around the block and went to sleep in that car. The traffic was this way. The median, this on Burbank. I bumped off that median that woke me up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that medium there.
Yeah, hard body. You know, my brother actually drove that car running from the police one night through my mother's living room. And it just chipped the paint. So it was a hard body tank. I used to drive that car and do this. And if you were sitting here, I'd say, watch this. Put my foot up on the dash and the accelerator drive itself. So that car was my protection. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Real American muscle. So, but I went to sleep, got to work. My guys were like, man, you look tired, bro. You can go back home for the night, get you some rest. But that's the essence of Ghost Rider. That became Ghost Rider. Yeah.
Who this for right there?
Your bill?
Oh yeah, that probably is my bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, that's dope. Yes, so were you still at home when you landed the record deal?
No, I actually had left. I was living in an apartment. Okay. You know, yeah. Wife, kids at the time, about 22 years old. Right in the rural neighborhood. This neighborhood of Gardner Lane that we call G Lane now. It used to be strictly for like white folks and LSU students. So I remember when we used to ring the doorbell and run with just egg and house. It turned to Compton. Then now they call it what Mexico City is full of men. It wasn't like that. Not school buses, but city buses to ride now. The city bus don't go down now. Body for body. You see what I'm saying? So that it turned to a rural section. But I was
shout out to the Dungeon Click.
Yeah, Dungeon family, holding the wild gang. Yeah, right over there. So it was,
Where was it when it blew up? What city you was in?
Baton Rouge still. I was still living now. You see what I'm saying? Living in the Guardian Lane. Yeah, I had a police
immigration from Southside Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
What happened?
Right, I was fighting this case where the police are following me in that Cadillac all the time and pulled me over 20 deep, pulled guns on me and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So eventually they caught me one day and stomped my face bloody. Black cop hit me on for the white cop. You see what I'm saying? I fought that case for a while, so in the midst of that, God blessed me in the way to where that deal came. It lifted me and took me up out of that shit.
But I want to ask you something, because I heard that's almost like a thing here in Louisiana.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where the police will get behind an artist or a major figure and just kind of harass a hip hop artist here.
Not even a hip hop artist, but true life. Right here, brother over here. What's your name again? Say it again. The Menace James. Yes, I just met this brother, and I spent the Ronnie Gold over here last night, and I'm spent the Baby Savage bringing us all together for a show. Yeah. He just followed us up the road. We just stopped at the gas station on guard on my mama. We talked about that. And he said, man, I got a kind of situation out that way. So, it's eerie for me going to Louisiana. So we talked, hey, bro, on guard, bless and protect everything. Yeah. We was late, you know what I mean? Because he got pulled over just because he got rims on his ride. He was solo by himself, not doing nothing. Yeah, 73 and a 70, mile zone.
Hey, I mean,
we know we can go 5 over, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, so this just took place. That's still taking place,
73 in the 70,
right now,
bro.
Right today. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy, though.
Racial profiling, man. Yeah, racial profiling.
Vehicle profiling.
Yeah, vehicle profiling.
Hey, that. And then when you look in the wonder, because, you know, I don't have a prejudice bond in my body. But I feel like he looked in the wonder and saw the black man in that car.
Yeah.
I mean, this the dumbest shit in the world. We were just saying this. If I'm going to be selling dope, keys, killers and bits or whatever, I'm not finna have it on no flashy ass car, dog. You see what I'm saying? So it's racial profiling. It's vehicle profiling as well.
But it's racial profiling too.
Ultimately.
Yeah. Because he know it ain't too many white boys
that's gonna rock like that. Yeah. Yeah. And the ones that's like that, they get harassed to some degree, but sometimes they let them make it. And by the grace of God, they let our brother make it here, and he in here with us right now.
That's really by the grace of God.
Yeah.
How big is religion in your life?
Everything. And they're not even religion. You know, I'm more God and then spirit nowadays. You know what I mean? Religion is what I call cliques and crosses, because everybody got their own God, their own church, from the Catholics to the Jews to the Muslim. But I believe in one God, and we all are children of God, one way or the other. So it's everything, man. Yeah. Spirituality, I say that. Spirituality, baby. Yeah.
So I gotta ask. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, how did the Master P and how you do that deal come about? Were you with Priority Records or did you sign with Master P? How did that work?
Well, the world would think I was official No Limit artist, and that was a possibility at the time. But with P having distribution with Priority, him and C-Lo having the connection, being two label heads, they was networking together while we was at the county. You know, morphing our records, and just the right place at the right time. The Body Movement soundtrack was coming out. I was working on my solo joint. He was doing his thing, lay low, and everybody around. So everybody contributed. I was up for that, being the third member. So we started working on a Young Bleed solo album, and that song came out and became #1 in the city off the count, self-titled album. So of course, PP got a woman in. I never signed with No Limit. But they all C-Lo Records and No Limit Records brokered the deal into Priority.
So Master P really kind of picked you up and looked out for you.
Yeah, basically. Absolutely that. Yeah.
So how did he hear about you?
Locust, just like you and Savage owning two companies and y'all doing stuff like this. And, you know, we didn't have podcasts at the time, but in the form of networking. You see what I'm saying? So while y'all, obviously, when y'all riding or whatever, what you got cracking, what I got cracking, and he liked that record. I wasn't there when that took place. I just got the phone call. I'm like, P liked this record. Want to do a remix. So that's how I still was working a day job. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
And at that time, the concentration camp was like one of the top groups in Louisiana at that time. So P here at C, you know what I'm saying? Then they moved to Baton Rouge. So yeah, you know, and then, you know, even before, you know, all they beginnings, man, we, you know, in Louisiana, we used to be on the road at certain clubs together, you know, back then. So we always kind of knew what X was out there already in a way.
Right.
We used to be on the road with them already. Before anybody had a name, we was out there.
And keep in mind, when P used to come to Baton Rouge at the time, they opened for us. Anybody that was somebody, you came to Baton Rouge, we was the headline, and no flex to that. From Twister to Too Short to Master P and No Limit. I remember those shows. Yeah. Cash Money too, because I met Baby and Flack Man when they wasn't all the bling bling, regular t-shirt, regular guys. So I've been cool with those guys. We've been cool with them really since like Big Boy Records. Before Cash Money, No Limit. Yeah, Big Boy. We used to go to Big Boy.
Mr. Biggs.
Not if you're talking about Mr. Biggs out of Alabama, not him, but Fiend, Mystical. Tim Smooth was kind of a part of it. Precise, the producer, Black Menace, and the Ghetto Twins.
Oh no, I remember when I remember when Mystical was on Big Boy.
Yeah, he come off of Big Boy and took them. Mystical went from Big Boy to Jive, then Jive to No Limit. He was like one of the, maybe third, fifth artists to come out of Louisiana after Big Mike, Ghetto Boys, Convicts, rest in peace to 3-2, and Tim Smooth signed to Rap a Lot. You know what I mean? Bust Down, because he went to Luke Skywalker record. So yeah, you know, so we was looking at other than that was like D&D record or Gonzalez distribution or something like that. So our hopes and dreams was, okay, who gonna be the first to break out of Louisiana on a national scale? And those were the first 3 guys. You see what I'm saying? Then Mystical eventually came about and got that deal with Jive. Yeah, long for us. Yeah. MC Nero too. You know
MC Nero,
he was tied too.
So they were priority signed, they signed the whole concentration camp? Or?
No, they signed me, you know, kind of like the Ice Cube thing. That's interesting. Unfortunately. Yeah. Wow. Hey, this phone is wild, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, that's crazy. That never happened nowhere in life. But we was kind of going through our beginning of the breakup of the camp. Me having that solo blast, I kind of did what Ice Cube did from NWA side, the straight deal with Priority Records. Straight from CeeLo Records to Priority Records. Yeah.
Did the camp feel any kind of way? Were they kind of upset? Or?
I mean, we all had all this slight indifference. Me and time never changed. Me and Max Manelli, you know, we went through some things, and that's, you know, that's baby brother from the gate. Happy went his own way. You see what I'm saying? Pretty much the rest of us indefinitely low. You know what I mean? We hadn't talked all for the 30 years span based on that since kids. And what he was talking about, we come up, we never had no ills at all. You see what I'm saying? But once that came into play, money, fame, and all that, it separated us, you know, and once the ball rolling, we got to keep up how we have to keep up. Yeah. So I just followed suit with what was there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but he got actually a distribution deal, I think, for the camp and for CeeLo Records. I got signed as a solo artist, and you know, and they did get that distribution deal through Priority.
Right. Because I feel like if one person make it, we all make it.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel.
No man above the clique, man.
We come out the mud and we get it out the mud together. I feel like if one of us make it, we all make it.
We all make it.
Yeah, that's what's keeping real, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if you're in a group or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that a group breaking up because somebody signs a deal in. Right. Everybody in that group looking for deals, but the fundamentals of the group that you're in, you got to make it to where y'all still do music together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think too. Also, everybody got to know how to play their position. I don't went through that with people in my clique. They see what I'm doing, they want to do it. Okay, well, fill my shoes then.
Yeah, you got to.
I want you in the position right here with me.
Yeah.
What I don't want you to do is not put in the same work I'm doing and then think you still expect to wear the same shoes. Right. That ain't what's gonna happen. Right. So a lot of times, I don't know about Lee's situation, but I know other situations where we see those groups got one star in the situation. Don't nobody want to focus on this one star. Let's all pull together. Yeah. Get him to where he needs to be, where there's no way he can fall down. Yeah, sir. And once he get there, he gonna pull everybody else. Absolutely. That's how it's supposed to go. Yeah. But on the way up, now you got this one getting jealous, this one getting jealous, this one want this one want this. Yeah. Man, we ain't even made it to where we supposed to be at. Right. Let's get there.
We just breaking ice.
Yeah, just breaking ice. Exactly that.
So that kind of would be with some people, but like I said,
the majority of groups, but every groups. You look at anything, I mean, from the Temptations to you name them. Anybody that's a group, Frank and Lyman, you name them. They started as a group, but that took place. James Brown with the Fabulous Flames. And once it's on, once I signed this deal, you my family, friends, and homeboys, now this is my job. This is my obligation. And
when I go along for the ride, I'm all support.
Right. Exactly that.
Yeah. I might make 10 million, maybe all y'all make $1 million. Yeah. Don't be jealous of my 10.
Right. I'm good.
Everybody eat.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Good. Yeah. We came from nothing.
Nothing. Don't forget that. Yeah, that shit. Yeah. Where we grew up on our block, man, if we walked up the block, and it's us right here, he might bought the potato chips, I might bought the cold drink, he might bought the candy. Next guy gonna buy the cookies. We'll go back to our alleyway. We just say, nigga, we come from MoonPies and marbles, man. Shot marbles in the alleyway, and we shared what we had amongst each other.
But and see, we still live like that. Yeah, other people that might stop, but we still live like that.
Yeah, loyalists, man.
I saw something. You had a deal with West Coast Mafia.
Yeah. Shouts out to Big Brother Seaball, man.
Yeah, Seaball. How was that?
Beautiful, man. He came my downtime after the fall of Priority and me going back to independence to rebirth me into the West. When I first met Bo was in the penitentiary. He called me just like he say Tupac called him. You see what I'm saying? For when Pac was in the pen. And he was one of Pac's favorites. You know, of course, he was a Pac fan, but he said, you know, his girl hit him like, hey, man, Tupac on the phone. He's like, quit bullshitting. And Pac was on the phone from the pen there, reach out to him. They'll meet in the flesh, I believe, when they did the California Love video, the remix, everybody was together. So he followed that same recipe and tried to do the same thing for me. At my downtime, I'm in the studio session one night. Shouts out to my cousin Brent Dixon and Uncle Paul, Carly Young fan, Concentration Campus, original CeeLo Weapon. Brought me a Murder Dog magazine. It's him and Yuck back to back. And they asked him a question like what some of the artists that he was interested in. So we was diehard Sebo fans coming out of our section up on Van Rule. And I was one of the names that he made mention of. So immediately I told my people, man, find Bo. Bo was in the pen. So I get the call one day and his girl called my girl, called her house, and I'm in the parking lot chilling like he was chilling. Sebo on the phone, bullshitting this Bo. So the first record I did with them was Rise to the Rank Under the Capo Volume 1. So I started immediately working on that record and transitioning from Baton Rouge year 4 Hurricane Katrina 2004. And by the time he came home was, back in the days, we could email everything now. But we had it with the Ampacks, whatever the shit was, the real shit. We had to mail that shit out to be mixed and mastered. You see what I'm saying?
I remember that.
So in perfect time, and the day he was coming home from the pen, that record was reaching California. He was in mixing and mastering. I said, that's my gift to you when he came home. I got a verse from one of the guys in Canada he had left over. So we didn't start working together physically till a year or two after that, just to put him on that record. Yeah, so that's my birth with Bo, and we've been like that. His sisters joke with us and say, y'all big brother, lit brother. Have all their quarrels over music and shit like that, and, nothing but love. But he actually come down from the West, and I say, Rakim is my favorite rapper of all time, but now you my favorite rapper, because out of all the rappers in the world, you came from Northern California. Really birthed in Monroe, Louisiana, when I learned him and learned his history. And came all the way, he said, DJ Screw introduced me to the South. So everything that he was giving, he gave to me. So I love both of that for life. Yeah. Let's go mine, baby. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I'm a big Bo fan. I'm a big Bleed fan too.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all had a big impact on our lives.
Yes, sir. Especially in them 90s, man.
Yeah, because I'm a 90s guy.
90s guy, yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a big impact. I just gotta say that was
yes,
mad love for what you guys did.
Thank you, my brother.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate
I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Yeah, definitely.
So what's next for you guys?
Like you say, this 200 city tour, you know what I mean? We got that cracking. This guy innovating, and I want to say and give him his kudos. He the first and only black man that I know of, you know what I mean, that got a 7-story building he's doing down here in Shreveport, right off the slab. So that's innovating, you know what I mean? There's so many other hats. I'm working on like 30 different projects, time working on projects, revitalizing the company, Trapdoor Entertainment. And, his label as well. What's your label?
Me and Mines.
Me and Mines, that's right. So everybody doing their individual thing, but we form Voltron at the end of the day to keep each other in it to win. Yeah, that part. So to be continued.
I love that.
Yes,
I love that. This is real powerful shit. I had a lot.
Thank you, brother.
To get in. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel the vibe and I feel the energy. It's really good.
Yes, sir. Yes, man. That's a blessing. Keeping in mind from birth child, rather me or my mother was not supposed to be here at birth. She had a complicated pregnancy with me at birth. You know what I mean? And made a outlandish choice at 17 years old. The doctor was like to my mom and pops, hey, one of them not gonna make it. Pops was like, well, hey man, I'll make another baby. Save my wife, man.
Yeah.
Mama, we was talking about this, and I think Lil Kiki, we was talking about this on Box Talk yesterday.
Okay.
How he was saying music hadn't changed really at all. You see what I'm saying? If I could say it like that. Now the form of music, from a technical standpoint, we come from 8-track tapes, reel to reel, 4 tracks, and all that. Music exists. George Clinton said the kingdom of heaven is within. They said the devil had machines or instruments in his body. It was the dictator of music from the heavens down. So music is an eternal thing that always existed from the cosmos down. Now what form we translate it and process it for its product and put it in. You see what I'm saying? Music gonna always exist. A lot of us complaining now, I ain't gonna make records because the streaming, we can't count our money. It's like I was watching this episode of Vlad, with Lord Jamal from Brand Nubian. Shouts out to Lord Jamal. And Vlad was explaining to him, say, man, hey, man, shit, with $10,000, anybody could become a millionaire.
Right.
Jamal said, no, Vlad, not for black people.
Yeah, I seen that.
He said, because within that $10,000, I got to pay my rent, my car note, my phone bill. I got to buy my grocery. And by the time, if you playing soccer and you kicking the ball to the goal, by the time we figure it out, they take the goal and do this here. Do this here. You see what I'm saying? So we can go back to the Ray Charles movie, and he was one of the first guys getting a whole dollar. What the dude told him, and he was a friend of Mr. Howard, the Turkish guy, Almond Ehrlichman, that ran Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
He said, Ray, if you think pennies, you're going to get pennies. But if you think dollars, you're going to get dollars. So we just got to figure a way to tap back into the money. It's always going to change. You know what I mean? My uncle, James Donald Johnson, Peter Weestraw, the double son-in-law, Junior, used to say this to me. Never remember this. Man law going to always change. God law going to remain the same. So I stick to the script. You see what I'm saying? And that, y'all put it in whatever form you're going to put it in. I'm going to show up on here and do the same thing. Guys used to approach me like this, said, Bleed, how much to do this record on a mixtape? The same shit I'm going to charge you for at 16, I'm going to charge you for that. Because you know what? It's still something that's not heard of in the universe. I got to create. God creating our brainchild. You see what I'm saying? So I got to put in the same work I'm going to do for a mixtape that I'm going to do for a original song. So you figure out what you're going to do with the beat. But I got to put the same work in. You get your money right, holla at your dog, man. Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, that part. Yeah.
Hey, man, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nothing but the real.
Mm-hmm. All day, baby. All day. Yes, sir. Constant creator. Yeah.
Create. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. We look at this. I get up, and what Lionel Richie is saying, Zoom from the Commodores. I walk among the stars at night, you know what I mean? Kind of mirror off into the heavens. I say, God is the greatest artist I know. Because them clouds take different formation every day. This is the greatest piece of canvas. You see what I'm saying? So a constant creator. We come from a constant creator. So if you come from your dad and he was a carpenter, guess what? Whether you pick up carpentry or not, you got carpentry in you. But once you know that, you're able to tap into that, then continue to create, man. Yeah. We from a constant creator, man. Yeah.
You know what? While we here, I never asked you. How did I Smoke I Drink come about?
Oh man, whole nother story.
Yeah.
For the first time, I think somebody just did this recently. I think Joseph was doing this, and he started his own record, but he didn't rap in the beginning. He rapped in the second verse. So me and Magic, bro, I didn't know, and like he said, No Limit headquarters, I didn't know they was in Baton Rouge. We didn't know that for a while. So one day, my little brother was in the hood hustling, doing this weed thing. He said, bro, Mr. Magic be coming by my spot, get blunts and bags for me. Like, yeah, little bro, so I ain't never met Magic. I'm like third, fourth generation No Limit, as far as they are in California back home.
Right.
So I was like, put us together. So he told my brother he wanted to meet me. So one of the days we was doing an out-of-town trip. We raised over 100 pit bulls. So I had a pit puppy, rest in peace of T-Thing, I take to my cousin to watch my dogs while I go out of town. So I'm standing in his driveway one day with one of my puppies, and Magic whooped up. He said, "There go Magic right there. It's in the hood on Guardia Lane, right down the street from your brother Tyrell."
Yeah, right.
T-Thing lived a couple of buildings down from him. So we standing there, and I walked up on him for the first time. Man, nice to meet you. He's the only guy in the world, New Orleans nigga talk different. Everybody got their same but different. Hey, what's up, Shaggy? He used to call me Shaggy. Yeah, nice to meet you, man. Ooh, we got to get us one in. So to me, it looked like it might have been a year before we even did that. But maybe within that year, I don't know the exact time, he called me. We swapped numbers. He called me to come shout out to Mo P, you know what I mean? Mo P, come up with Al B. Sure, Mary J. Blige, and he one of the R&B older heads from Baton Rouge, you know what I mean? Producer extraordinaire. But Mo had a studio out there, and they called me to Mo spot, and he was working on I Smoke, I Drink. So when I walk in the studio, I'm vibing like, man, what is that? He played it. Second verse come out. I said, why you ain't rapping in the beginning? He said, you like that? I said, yeah. He said, well, Bleed, you get on the first verse. He said, in New Orleans, we call you the jump off boy because you know how to jump off a record. So you go first. The second verse was already there in the hook. So we ran with that record, you know, from Louisiana to Alabama, Mississippi, on the in-between, doing 3-5 shows a night. He doing his set, I'm doing my set, and we'll come together and perform that song. Everybody go crazy. But every time we'll leave at the end, the MC will say, yeah, all right, y'all, next week, so the Slim come. So I like, okay, damn. You know, Magic was going through his thing with No Limit and Pete. And he had a disc record or something he put out, God bless the dead. Slim was going through his shit, you know what I mean? So as we was doing that, we was trying to figure who to put on that third verse. So one night, after all the chemistry off that record, you know, in Baton Rouge, they always called us the country boys. When we, you know, anybody from here, from Shreveport on down, they say, hey, bro, I'm going to the city. We talking about New Orleans.
Right.
So they city slickers, you know, city slickers in the country. But I said, man, we need to call our album that. And we started working on probably a 10-piece. We might got 9 or 10 of those songs done. I'm trying to get back with Mo and see if he still got them, you know, do the Magic Demise and probably get that out to the public. But we started doing that and running with that. So in the midst of one of those sessions, we'll come out 4, 5 in the morning, chill out, smoke us one before we go to the house, separate out, you know, go separate ways. He say, Bleed, you know who I'm gonna put on that third verse? I say, who? He say, Soldier Slim. I said, oh man, that's who you put on there. Matter of fact, he said, I'm getting up in the morning and I'm in New Orleans to record Slim, because Slim still was living in New Orleans. A lot of the other guys with No Limit had moved to Baton Rouge. So I said, man, as soon as y'all do that, give me a call. So Magic, we'll wake up at 8 or 7 in the morning. He drank coffee on 1 a.m., drank coffee. We plotting on what we gonna do next. So anywhere between noon and 4 that afternoon, 2 on the in-between, phone ring, you know, I'm dead asleep, but I'm waiting for that call. So as soon as I'm looking so automatic, I was excited. Hey man, yeah, y'all did it? He said, bro, Slim did. The next day, Slim got murdered. You see what I'm saying? Wow. So that's the bittersweetness of that particular record. I had the honor and the pleasure of meeting Slim one night at No Limit. Like we embraced each other. Believe we're gonna get, yeah, bro, let's do it. I had a headache that night, so I went home, but I wish, you know, I could have endured my headache and recorded with Slim. It was my only chance, face to face, one time in life. And before we could rekindle, yeah, that happened to him. The night, the morning, Magic said that. Yeah, so that's the evolution of that song.
I'm gonna tell you some crazy shit how that happened. Because sometimes God puts stuff in place for a reason. Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I ain't been to Baton Rouge in almost 7, 8 years, dog. Right? And I was supposed to be going to do a song with Nissy.
Yeah. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah. So I get down there to Baton Rouge. All my family still down there. My brother, my cousins, homeboys I grew up with. Niggas ain't seen me since I was 14 years old.
14 years old, yeah.
Here I am 20-something years old now.
Yeah.
So they're like, man, fuck that, man. You can go do that song. You go do that song tomorrow, nigga. We finna go to Playboys.
Yeah.
Across the river.
Yeah.
So I go to the club with them that night.
Yeah.
I wake up the next day, niggas say Nissy got killed. I said, man, I was supposed to be in the studio. See, this the shit.
Yeah.
How God, bro, that ain't nobody but God, because he done did stuff like that to me 2, 3 times. Well, I was with 2 of my homeboys one time, and nigga, they done, we just young niggas, you heard me?
Yeah.
And my grandmama whipped up on me and say, come get in the car with me.
Yeah.
We need to go to Shreveport. I was staying in Mansfield at this time.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, these niggas done went, robbed, and killed the mail. I was just with them. My grandma picked me up and got me.
Nigga.
Then another time, I was with some homeboys when I was real young. I'm like 12.
Yeah.
Nigga, I'm riding a motorcycle bike like it's a bicycle, but it got the motorcycle cover on it.
Yeah.
I'm 12. Another nigga 14. The oldest nigga, he like 16. And this wind up being like, later on in life when I got older and I got in the game, he wound up being like one of my henchmen. You heard me? But he was like the BG.
Yeah.
The nigga who did all time the Boys Home. He came out looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, sir.
You know, so we with him.
Yeah.
But I'm young at this time before I got older.
Yeah.
And man, my grandmama, here she come again.
Yeah.
Pulled up on me, put your bicycle in the trunk.
Yeah.
I need you to come to Shreveport with me to help me at Home Depot.
Yeah.
I come back home the next day. Yeah. All of them got a robbery charge. They went rob a little place in Big Star. Yeah. I was right there with them.
Yeah.
And then I go to prison later on. This after I done became the Birdman and everything, and I'm sitting in prison. I'm sitting down. I'm like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
That I done got saved 3 times. I'm like, bro, it's a God because it was a split second.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Well, this shit happened.
Yeah, it's all it takes.
One time I could have had 20, 30 years. Yeah. The other time, everybody on that robbery charge got 12 and 15. Yeah. Wouldn't be no baby Savage right now.
Yeah, man.
Then, like I tell you, by the time with Nussie, I was going to do a record. I wanted to go do that record. Yeah. Nigga got killed.
Here today, gone tomorrow, bro.
Man, I was supposed to be heading to the studio.
Yeah.
So, God saved my life. My people saved my life, too, by telling me, now, I'm talking about, they was adamant on that. Like, nigga, we finna go celebrate, nigga. Yeah. But these little niggas who I grew up with on the block.
When you doing that tonight.
Good time.
Yeah. Hey,
so,
bro.
How you say that happened? You was supposed to do that song, and then the next day, he died.
Yeah. Hey, it happens, bro, in so many ways. I saw that a lot of life. You gotta know when he putting that big hand down on you, he send you an angel. You got the choice to make.
Right.
It's the fork in the road. You see what I'm saying? We all come to a fork in the road, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that type of thing, I hear you.
It's up.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the Union tour.
Yeah.
How was that?
I only did let's say 2 dates in 2018 and last year.
Right.
2024. So I'm not, a whole part of it. They call me when necessary. That type of thing. But anytime, I'm a part of it, it's phenomenal. Every time Chicago, then we did Nashville, Tennessee, 7,000 people.
But we working on more dates. Master P came out to my building. Him and B chopped it up.
Yeah.
They had a great conversation. I appreciate Master P coming out to the building.
Yeah, man.
And, we got another No Limit show we got coming up.
Next month.
Is that next month? Yeah, that is next month. That's next month.
Alabama.
And we're going to have some more, you know what I mean? So here's the thing about it. On the cool, if you look at the actual statistics, how you do that, that was one of the biggest songs that ever came from No Limit.
Yeah.
So when they play it, it is what it is.
It's a demand for
it. So, we definitely going to continue working with P and No Limit.
Family for life, man.
Do you still reap benefits from that song?
Yeah. I've been getting paid from that record since 1997, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jay-Z said I'm still spending money from 88. I'm still spending money from 97, 98, man.
Because he can redo the song now because of copyrights and stuff. And
and we doing that. We doing like a live thing, man. Next month or so in Baton Rouge, shouts out to Greg Duke on his spot. Right. We're doing like a tiny desk thing, but we're gonna have an outside audience. So we finna really with live players and rekindle some of those records.
Yeah, because I had to actually contact Universal. I'm waiting for them right now.
Yeah. They got the overall ownership, Universal.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do some promotion with it right now on advertising. These days when you go to TikTok, they won't let you sponsor it if it belongs to another music group. So now I got to get sync licensing approval from Universal. I contacted them, emailed them, and I'm waiting. We started a small campaign, but before I really put a lot of money into it,
I need to know.
I don't want to be spending my money and then have some problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would like for them to be a part of it. If y'all gonna get a certain percentage of it, and I'm gonna put some money behind it, we ain't got no problem. Help us amp it up, put us through the right channels. At the end of the day, we gonna make some money off touring. And the numbers need to go up. That's what
take y'all's off top. Let us get the rest, man.
And we out.
Yeah, we out.
That's what it's about.
Was Priorities your first 6-figure deal?
Yeah. And only 6-figure deal. Now I made 6 figures independently in so many ways. Shouts out to Selecto Hits. They was a home for me when when Priority folded. I had a 7-album deal with Priority. In the midst of recording my third, I didn't get no leeway or nothing. We recording Vengeance. Mr. Howard, rest in peace.
Mr. Howard.
And take us a break and go to Albertsons to get some chicken on the Albertsons. Just take us a little lunch break. And back then, it wasn't the email, it was the invoice. On the invoice is sitting Priority, just folded and merged with Capitol Records. And they've been in that shuffle ever since. You see what I'm saying? So, but Priority, it was my biggest and major deal. You know what I mean?
You go back with another major label?
If the situation and the money is right and we all can come to, some type of term, of course. I'm always open to that. In the meanwhile, I ain't gonna stop at nothing and wait for it. You see what I'm saying? Like he said, even before them, I sold tapes on the corner. So since the demo tape, Yeah, so we knew how to hustle and definitely hustle records. We learned from the street game how to sell product, whatever you sell. Yeah.
Hey, a real crime family, dog. Like this is really in police records. They tried to give me 30 years. Tried to give me 20 years in second trial. At 19, I'm running a real organization with 30 niggas in orange.
They saying that now with that Rico shit.
Yeah.
And see, real killers and people like that, the old nigga that's in the back of the pen and all that, they ain't in that. And they can tell that you in there with this fake shit.
Yeah.
I got pilots used to say this in the hood. Man, I don't even go down there to the parish. Hey, bro, such and such locked up. Give me some, man. I don't even go that way.
Yeah.
But guys that don't know about that and that's interested in that shit, they hauling ass, man.
Okay. Yeah, so I like the shit them niggas trying to rap about, nigga. I really did that. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want you know what come with the shit.
I still got shit, nigga. I really supposed to have life. No, I don't want to talk about it. But what I meant by him was, you ain't got to talk about that. Get to the money.
Yeah.
Because now we look at 20 years later. How many rappers in the street riding Rolls Royce?
I don't know.
Who else? Niggas ain't even got a car.
Yeah, right.
Niggas ain't got a house.
Yeah, right.
Say, bro, if we talk about the best rappers in Shreveport, we could talk about it, but at the end of the day, I studied on the business. Niggas wanted to be the best rapper. I wanted to be the best businessman. I rather have millions of dollars than the nigga say, man, the nigga Savage, the coldest nigga I know.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna give me no work because you ain't gonna support me enough to get there.
Nah. And see, it's just what you saying. That's a rapper, dog.
Yeah.
He's a rapper. He rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He ain't on no business.
Bro.
You can find any kid off in the street since doo-wop band. He can stand on the corner of the stop sign singing. He can sing his ass off. But he, like they told me when I come in the game, bro, you know this shit is 90% business, 10% talent. So I just say, man, what the fuck are you talking about? This how much love and respect y'all got for the talent. But I had to learn, hey, bro. And all the see them people up in that room, they're sitting there typing, we got to pay the motherfucking people. See these posters and all that shit costs money. How the fuck can we promote you in your town in Alaska when you not even known in your own town? That's the business. That's the boots to the ground shit. You got to get up and pin up these posters and let people know who you are. And people don't understand, haven't been educated to learn to love and respect business. Yeah, that's the difference.
I tell niggas all the time, nigga, you still rolling?
Yeah.
You still rolling? I used to tell niggas all the time.
Yeah.
You got out rap me.
Yeah.
Come out grind me. I'ma die and you gonna have to die, dog.
Yeah.
If you wanna outwork me, next to me, nigga, one of us finna die.
Hey.
That's the only way you gonna win. Now if you wanna out rap me, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I don't
you
want
can have
that
that shit.
I don't even want that.
I don't sell face and ass, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
So I learned to lead that way and said, I ain't in no competition, man. Your competition is yourself, man.
Yeah.
And what your goals is in life, what you after. This fame and somebody that's saying you got to fly as rap. How you gonna get it off the ground? That's the whole shit. Somebody asked me this yesterday. I got all this rap I can do. I said, well, the first thing you gotta have is some money. Other than that, it's a fucking dream, dog. Everybody got ideas, but who gonna be able to, you know what I mean? Yeah, right. Yeah, that shit costs money. It ain't free, nigga. You got even if you got a home studio, you gotta pay the light bill, nigga. You gotta pay, it cost money. Respect money. I don't, you know, they say money the root of all evil, or the love of money, however you want to put it.
You need it to survive.
We needed to survive, so I learned I don't even care about money, but I learned to respect. I respect. Yeah.
It's better than the last time, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah, my brother. Hey. Yeah, that's